the way they do bass is fucking amazing. For years, I was confused of how they were doing it because I was just too stupid to realize that a lot of the time there is no bass. It's just two guitars. And then when the bass comes in, it fucking knocks you over, dude. It's so cool. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Knox. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my happy, trusty, and tired co-host, Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Oh, so tired. So much. Not for the listeners, but for me. So much has happened between episodes.
Oh my God. So much a lot has happened. This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a whole new discography per episode. And today we will be discussing every album by
Hot Snakes.
Hot Snakes, requested by Anton on Patreon. Please go to Patreon if you want to suggest stuff for us. And there's bonus episodes, and it's cool. And go there. Hot Snakes. So first off, we already covered Drive Like Jehu a long time ago. Go check out that episode. We love that band. It's hard not to love that band. Everyone loves that band. And it's taken us several years to finally get around to Hot Snakes.
One step closer to doing Rocket from the Crypt.
Dude,
that was supposed to be the band, but we're like, let's go in order.
We didn't even mean to not do them. We got a request to do them, I think, 5 years ago, and then we just never did it.
That dude still listens.
No
to
chance.
the podcast.
No chance. But
bless him if he does.
Yeah, Hot Snakes. Yeah, we're back to the Rick Froberg and John Reis combo. R.I.P. Rick Froberg. We'll talk about that later. That's very sad, but.
I think while we're speaking about sad things, we should.
Okay, let's elephant in the room.
We lost a giant fucking Albini.
We lost Steve Albini. Yes.
I don't mean to be pretentious or a prude. When I saw Idols, they shouted him out, and some asshole next to me asked who's Steve Albini. I'm sorry.
I want to kick him in the fucking teeth, dude.
I was legitimately angry. Like.
Oh,
get out of here. Get out of here.
New Idols fans stink. I regret praising them so much. I'm kidding. Idols is amazing.
But yeah, I don't know how you listen to any sort of alternative or heavy music and you don't know who the fuck that man is. I hope that guy does his homework and he learns. But man, huge part of this podcast and always will be.
Yeah, we already covered Big Black and Rape Man. Go check out both of those episodes. And of course, obviously, we're going to be doing Shellac way sooner than we planned because the new album came out, this week as of the release of this episode, I believe. So, yeah, we should be doing that soon. Man, like, too young. Too young. Definitely. The same with Rick Froberg. Way too fucking young. But this, Steve Albini's dying was a fucking nightmare come true. Like I got the text from my brother Robert and I was like, no. And out loud, I was like, no. I was like so frantic that I was dropping shit. Like I was trying to like look it up and I dropped my mouse. Fuck. Like I was like, no, not Albini. And dude, it affected me more than like a family member dying. It's so much worse for me. This is going to sound bad. I was in Hawaii, so I was like, man, that sucks, but like too bad.
Too bad. Let me get some pog juice and some spam asubis and some milk. Let's fucking go, brother.
That's either a great thing or a bad thing. It's like, oh, you're in the perfect place to relax and forget about it, or it's going to ruin the whole vacation.
Yeah, thankfully it did not ruin my vacation, but it's a bummer nonetheless. Put on some Steely Dan in his memory, and
dude, check out that Steely Dan episode. Fuck them. No one on earth, I think, went harder at Steely Dan aside from us than Steve Albini. I mean,
I like.
Fuck Steve. Fuck Steve. Fuck Steely Dan. I almost. Goodness. I'm flustered again. Fucking man, it made me so happy seeing his giant rants about just everything wrong with that fucking band.
I did like an Albini rant, but I'm sorry, he's wrong about Steely Dan. But
I think he's wrong about it. I disagree with him about all kinds of shit. I disagree with him, but I don't give a fuck because I like that he just spoke his mind and he was who he was. Like it had nothing to do with like his politics or beliefs or anything. I liked the guy. Not to mention was absolute genius when it comes to engineering. the best in the fucking world. I mean, the best. We lost the best.
I wonder if that Liturgy album will be his last album, or if he probably worked on other things. Dude's a workhorse.
Yeah, like we lost the absolute best, and this is one of those things where like everything connected to him. Because I mean, I was a huge fan of his. I started listening to Big Black when I was in I don't know, 12 or 13, I forget, probably 12. It was like one of the earliest like touch and go things that I heard. It might have been like Scratch Ass at first and then Big Black shortly after. And so it starts from there, but then like, I mean, he's touched every fucking band. He was he's just a guy working in a studio. He wasn't like picky about who he worked with. He just had like, all right, this is what it costs to work with me per day. Fuck it. Yeah. I'll record whoever. So it ends up just being involved with a million. I mean, he recorded fucking Burning Witch, right?
I think so. But yeah, looking at some of his more recent work, I mean, like Liturgy, Black Midi. I don't love Sunno, but yeah, Sunno, The Breeders. Yeah.
Obviously, Jesus Lizard. Check out all the Jesus Lizard episode and Scratch Us episode for that matter.
Neurosis, Dazzling Killman, Ohm, Ken Mode.
It's fucking everybody. Oh my God. And so I was like really, really bummed out about it. Like severely, to the point where I couldn't sleep. It's like it feels like we lost something so paramount to good art, at least in my view of it. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that's the Albini sound is like it's my favorite production sound in the world. It's like the most live sounding, the most in the room next to you, the best drum sound for fucking, bar none. But I was like, I always wanted to fucking record with him. Like, all I had to do was like save up enough money to fly to Chicago and pay the thing, which is, it's not unheard of. I can save up that money, not now, obviously, but like it was a thing that I wanted to do that wasn't impossible. So that was like a fucking smack in the face, like right there, like, oh, I'll never achieve that goal. Cool. Mm-hmm. And then, so I'm all bummed out about it. And Robert, my brother, who was just recently on our Mescal episode, check out Mescal. Check out that episode, dog. He was he had some pretty insightful stuff. Saying like, because Albini did like a million interviews and it was super forthcoming about what he does, what he uses, everything, all his equipment, all his techniques. We've talked on the Big Black episode, like his guitar tone, which is the most crazy, unique distortion ever. The best thing about it was that he published exactly what he used and what he did, and people still couldn't replicate it. Meanwhile, we get fucking Josh Homme, who refuses he covers up his fucking pedal board because he doesn't want anybody to copy him. It's like, it's just a difference in like, I don't know, values. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so he has this, like, he's super forthcoming about all his knowledge. He on the Electrical Audio YouTube, they just put out a fucking video with him talking about this old amp. And it's like just really explaining like how he records acoustic instruments, the exact techniques, the exact mics. It's like all this really really generous with his knowledge. And Robert was saying like, yeah, he did all this so someone else could take that knowledge and expand upon it. And like, yeah, now it's time. I mean, it's a little sooner than we probably like, but God damn it. He played his part.
Yeah. 60 it's like, it's old, but he shouldn't die at 60 either.
No, it's fishy too. I mean, it's just 61 and he didn't seem unhealthy. I mean, it's just odd. And I could say the exact same thing for Rick Froberg, because after all, this is a Hot Snakes episode, not a Shellac episode.
Well, it's recent when we're not going to talk about Albini.
Exactly. I mean, we have to, and we're going to talk even more about it when we do Shellac, but it's fucking sucks. It sucks. It's the worst music news of my lifetime. Like, without question, not even close.
Oh man. It'll wash over me one day.
One day. Yeah. Oh boy. But now we're on to Hot Snakes, a completely different band that I'm surprised that we didn't record any of these albums. It seems like there would have been overlap, but I guess not. Do you have any experience with Hot Snakes?
I apparently have heard a handful of songs because they felt familiar, but I could not point my finger where. Maybe
Got the total 5.
Huh?
Got the total 5.
Where
One of the songs is on Grand Theft Auto 5.
Is it? I've not played Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh shit! Well, I mean, I never finished it honestly, but which song was it? This Mystic Decade from Audit in Progress was in Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's an interesting choice to go with. I know I've heard Creative Control somewhere, maybe a video game, maybe a movie. I don't know, but yeah. Also, there's this like I've listened to a few Rocket albums and Drive Like Jehu, and so it just like feels familiar anyways.
Yeah, Rick has a very distinguishable voice, and when he's playing with John, they have a back and forth style. Their guitar tone is extreme. They never like that guitar tone is always the same. It's the same guitar tone as Drive Like Jehu.
Yeah, the guitars are probably like the star of the show here.
100%.
These always like 2-minute songs doing this interesting stuff. You blink and you miss it. And this sound that I can't describe accurately, but when you hear it, it's John Reis and Rick Froberg. Like, it's not like you brought up Josh Homme earlier. It's not like that distinctive, but it's still like their signature thing.
Yeah, for sure. I've been a big fan of Hot Snakes for many years. I don't actually remember how. Yeah, it might have been early 20s or when I discovered them, and I don't even remember how I discovered them. Honestly, maybe it was a Drive Like Jehu connection, but I don't know. I can't even. It doesn't even feel like that obvious. I think I might have just stumbled on them, but I've had them on rotation pretty much for 10 years, over 10 years. Love the band. I could have sworn I definitely heard the initial 3. I could have sworn that I heard the reunion album not long after it came out. And then when I went back to it here, I didn't recognize anything. So maybe I didn't, and I fabricated that memory. I have no idea, but
didn't make your year-end list.
Well, it was 2018 to be fair. All right. It was before the pod.
I thought we were how old?
No, we started.
Oh no. Okay.
2019 was when the pod started.
Just right on the cutoff. Okay. My memory's not that bad.
Not that bad. But I've loved this band for a long time. It was so much fun going back to it. And what I now know, I've always liked them. I've always loved the band a lot. Now I can say this is one of the most fucking underrated, consistent. This band, not only did they not put out a bad album, every album is fucking great. This was so hard to pick best and worst. Like I listened to all 4. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what is worst or best. They're all so damn good.
Easy picks for me, but I agree. Not a bad album. There's this one I care less for than the others. So I had to just I went with the heart. There's no logic. It's just I care for that one less.
I ended up having different thoughts at the end of it, like not super different, but enough to be like, I caught myself off guard, and I ended up with a brand new perspective on the band. So I have a reinvigorated love for them, and now they're probably going to be on rotation for a while, which is so fun. I mean, god damn, this band rules. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, if you've heard Rick Froberg's voice, you will know that it never fucking aged ever until his death. From early 90s to 2020s, same exact voice.
I do think it is different on Jericho Sirens. I could tell the difference.
I see. I think you can stare at it and you can hear but barely. I would say fucking barely, especially with the way it's produced, where it's kind of. I mean, his voice is always kind of buried in this band, but such a characteristic. Yeah, one of the best punk voices. Although I would be hesitant to call this a punk band, even though they're very punky in a lot of ways.
It's like the perfect love child of garage rock and hardcore punk and just like quick elements of rockabilly and surf music. It genuinely sounds like a punk band from San Diego, California. Like like it's the most like ideal like San Diego punk sounding band in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay.
I guess like you have like Minutemen and Black Flag over here in LA and these beach
And
cities.
Pedro.
Yeah, but like those bands could kind of be anywhere. But to me, there's something about Hot Snake's sound where I'm just like, it's so like, it feels like California to me.
It does feel like California. It is a very different era. I mean, obviously Minutemen, Black Flag, early 80s, but this is significantly later. Mm-hmm. But it definitely, it does have it feels older than it is, where it doesn't sound like it's trying to, because it's not like, oh, it's just a band from like early 2000s playing punk like fucking the Markmen or something like that. It's way more. It always felt like a hybrid of noise rock and punk, or noise rock and garagey punk, because it was so clangy. Like it, I mean, they're literally taking the Drive Like Jehu guitar tone and style and playing style. So you're getting this really technical, really intricate guitar interplay with two guitarists that happens to be a little bit more simplified in song structure, shorter songs, faster songs. And there's one thing that Hot Snakes did throughout the entirety of their existence, and that I've never heard anybody do as well or as prominently. The way they do bass is fucking amazing. And it's, I for years I was like, I was confused of how they were doing it, because I was just too stupid to realize that a lot of the time there is no bass. It's just two guitars. And then when the bass comes in, it fucking knocks you over, dude. It's so cool. So it's produced so well, and the guitars carry so much weight that you're not missing a bass. You don't think there's no bass. You're not craving it. So when it comes in, it's that much more impactful. And it does it at the perfect times. It does it all over the entire discography. It fucking rules.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Because sometimes I would be like, am I missing the bass? And then I was like, exactly what you said. No, it's not there, because the guitar's doing so much heavy lifting. Yeah.
But goddamn it, they're a fun band. I mean, one of the most fun bands, period, I would say, that at least that I have in my life. But we got some notes here from my boy Tom Osman, who you should all go support and follow. We got an interview with John Reis from 2018 from Reading Eagle. And he gives a little bit of backstory. They were like him and Rick friends since they were in high school. They've been playing together since they were in high school. First they started Drive Like Jehu, and then around the same time, that's when Reis started up Rock from the Crypt. Tom notes here, woo yeah. A lot. Is that I've never listened to Rock from the Crypt. Is that a thing that they do? Woo yeah.
Probably. It kind of falls into it's different from Hot Snakes, but it is also this like good time, like this good time garage punk rock music. So
yeah,
they probably just do it enough where this became like immune to it, where it's just in there and I don't even notice.
Yeah. Or in the 90s, Reis also founded Swami Records, which all these records were released on. It eventually re-released on Sub Pop, because I believe he wanted to start working on music again. But
and then Markmen were released.
Oh yeah, check out the episode of the Markmen. I mean, we're not huge fans, but someone is.
Or don't. Yeah, whatever you guys want.
They formed Hot Snakes in '99. According to Reis, he says, I love playing guitar and letting it be more naked, just rhythm and dissonance, something more connected to the DNA of rock and roll than we did in Drive Like Jehu. And yeah, it's that's what it is. It's like the technique, the guitar technique of Drive Like Jehu with simplified structures, shorter songs, higher energy, more digestible.
Yeah, I would say Jehu is more like moody, more dynamic, and this is like there's a rager on Friday night and we're getting drunk.
Yeah, 100%. I would say that this is probably a more accessible band for most people, but there is Drive Like Jehu was just so damn influential. They just they didn't invent post-hardcore, but they were pretty paramount. But we got 4 albums to talk about here. First one came out in 2000. Last one is the Reunion in 2018. Unfortunately, Froberg's death is kind of what ended them, which is, I mean, god damn, a huge fucking bummer. I was so fucking, he was part of my fantasy band lineup. He was my fantasy band lineup singer.
We should do that for an episode when we're down and out and need a quick episode.
Need a quick episode? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Tom and I talked about that over emails like a couple years ago. Like,
yeah.
And oh yeah, man. Oh, fuck, he's such a cool goddamn voice.
I haven't done that in a while. That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's basically the backstory is pretty quick stuff. We might as well start jumping in the albums if you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I mean, they're pretty quick albums, so like
they're very 30. Every album is 30 minutes. The longest album is like 34 minutes. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's so short and sweet. Oh, god damn, what a great band! Yeah, this came out 2000. This is Automatic Midnight.
And yeah, this intro is like a great example of like, that intro is like over before you know it.
Yeah.
And now we're just like cranked up.
That bass just comes in.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, this isn't one of the faster songs, but it's mean, it's gritty, it's ugly. It's one of the uglier songs, honestly, in the whole discography. At least like the first stint before they broke up the first time.
This feels like perfect skateboarding music to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why they weren't featured in more skate videos. Like, yeah, missed opportunity to not have these songs in Tony Hawk games.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's fucking nuts to me. When I was first finding this band, this was my most neglected of all like the original, because it was before the reunion. I remember hearing this back then and thinking like, oh, this is a cool fucking band. And then I moved on to another album and I was like, oh, this is the one, baby. Hell yeah. And then coming back, best album.
This was in contention for me. This is the most raw, just like pedal to the metal, let's go album. They're obviously a high energy band, but this is the one that like encapsulates that like high energy feel.
The highest energy, because I started up and I'm listening, I'm taking notes on each song, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, this is like way better than I remember it being. Like, I don't remember it being bad. I just remember liking other things more, so just forgetting about this one. And I'm listening to like the how each song kind of feels going into the next one. It's like, that's fucking, how is it this consistent? By the end of it, I was like, this is so much. I was so excited. So I was like, this is fantastic. It's fantastic stuff. I wasn't going to give it best. Then I listened to every other album with the memory of those albums. And then what it came down to, I think this is their absolutely best paced album. I mean, it's not, for me, it's not even close. Like, even though I like other songs in the discography more for the most part, the pacing here is really fucking great. So one, there's two things. The pacing, in the sense that songs that start feeling good, songs that begin and they already feel good. So like, on the rest of the albums, there's a lot of songs that I like, but the way they start up kind of dips the pace. Like, I don't love the way they start up. There's something about the way they start. It doesn't feel that great following the ending of the previous song, even though the song is good and it gets better. This doesn't have that. This is, every single song just feels fucking amazing right when it starts. Not to mention, it has some bangers on here. God damn. I mean, the title track might be my favorite title track of all their albums.
I agree. It's their best title track.
I'm surprised you agree. It is fucking great.
Little bit of a spoiler look. I don't really love all their title tracks.
Really?
I noticed.
I think they're all great.
Yeah, that was the thing going. So like, I totally agree that this is like the best title track. I do agree with you about the pacing. I I think I ended up being more like I just went for the album where I thought like the songwriting was a little stronger, but yeah, this banger's on here.
Yeah, the production is the weakest on this one. It's not like super noticeably worse compared to the other ones, but it is a little bit weaker, a little bit more mono sounding. But goddamn, I absolutely love the pacing. So it starts out with like 3 fucking high energy, kick your ass kind of songs, and then it goes into Sultan City, which slows things down a little bit more, like a Reader's Digest, Drive Like Jehu kind of thing, where it's this heavy tom-driven beat, really minimal guitar line. It's way more of like it's not really like catchy or there's not like great riffs in there. It's just a good pacer track. It's way more percussive and it's way more like I don't know. It's not punky.
I thought it was very mechanical sounding without doing like electronic stuff. Maybe because the Albini passing, I thought it had some big black influences going on there, where it's like, yeah, this is still a rock band, but they do this very good job of making it sound mechanical.
Yeah. And then following that, you get one of their absolute best songs, 10th Planet. I mean, god damn, that song rules.
I like how the lighter guitar riffs are always just as effective as the gnarly ones. And I think 10th Planet is a good highlight of like, just, some lighter guitar tones going on there.
100%. It's one of the more melodic things, one of the most melodic things on the album by far.
Oh, I like 10th Planet going into Light Up the Stars. I think this works good as a 1-2 punch.
100%. Light Up the Stars lightens it up. So 10th Planet is a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more drawn out, more anthemic. Light Up the Stars comes in and it's just, man, what cookie fucking riffs, man. Just solid, straight to the point, good riffs. You get some sleaziness with Our Work Fills the Pews.
I am a fan of Mystery Boy, where it's like feels like combining these elements of the Stooges with some like Thin Lizzy guitar harmonies, where it's just like, that's like an inner, like I don't think a lot of bands would have done this guitar rock. And it's not that the guitar players are playing the same thing at the same time, but these like melody driven guitar riffs. Yeah,
Mystery Boy is an interesting one. I mean, I love it. I don't know who is that. John singing on that? Who's singing on that one? It's not Rick.
I am not good at recognizing who sings what.
It's got to be John. Because I mean, it's just not Rick. It's so obviously not Rick. But god damn, absolutely great writing on that one too. Love it. It's another highlight of the album easily. Past Lives is another really interesting one. It's like it sets itself up as being on the uglier, bitter side, but then the chorus is like unusually musical. It's like it's a very strange riff. It feels musical, but it's like it's hitting a bunch of fucking wrong notes on its way to being musical. Very cool riff. Very, very interestingly written.
They're very good at doing that throughout their whole career, where you think you're just going to get these like rippers, like straightforward things, or like just party. The lyrics aren't party lyrics, but party riffs. And then just like, oh man, I was not expecting a melodic part here or something more musical. They're very, very good at doing that.
Super good at doing that. And then Apartment Zero, which is like, it's basically an interlude song, instrumental. Fuck, man. It's one of the best things on the goddamn album. I mean,
oh man, this anxiety inducing guitars and this like a rolling floor tom beat.
Rumbling toms. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I was so I guess it's just an interlude to let it come. But I was like, oh man, where's this song going? And then it's over. So
yep. Dude, and then Let It Come, which is my favorite Hot Snakes closer. And it's one of their longest songs. I mean, it's only 4 minutes, but still.
Oh, I thought it was like 5.
It's 5 minutes. No, it's 5 minutes, but the last minute is like this creepy kind of like creepy soundscapes.
Yeah. What the band doesn't do too much of, so.
No. In fact, this album is the only album with samples on it, I think, or like obvious samples.
There's some samples on Jericho.
Is there? You have to remind me.
Yeah, I'll get there. They sample a little country western.
Oh
song.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, Let It Come. I mean, it's really great lead guitar on that one. It's subtle, but it's really transformative on that opening section. But it's longer. It's longer because it has these big sections of these driving drums that kind of keep the beat going with ambient guitar noodling around. And it's not jammy in any way. It's just sort of, it's almost like the song is breathing during those sections. Like it was holding its breath during the big, chunky, loud singing sections. And then during those long solo drums and noodling sections, it sounds like it's like taking a breath. It's really fucking cool. Great. I mean, it's just too damn good. I can't believe I neglected this one this much. I might honestly, it could be a bias. Maybe I'll come back later and I'll give something else best. But coming back to this and hearing it for the first time, essentially, because I don't remember it, it's like, oh shit, it's Hot Snakes. They are great because I'm so used to. I've heard the other one so many times that this is like brand new Hot Snakes to me, essentially. Fucking ridiculous, but it rules. I think it's the best. I think it's the best paced, and the highlights are so strong that it still stands up against the stuff that the other albums, the more famous ones, I guess.
Not the song highlights, which will come later, but
later, yes. But my best. And are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I should probably pull up the song. God damn it.
You got new jobs. I get it.
This is 2002's Suicide Invoice. A little bit of a slow build up there.
Like that, like when you're dizzy, you think of like guitar riffs like that.
Yeah. Ooh.
Some lower BPMs here.
Yep, different kind of opener.
And there's a more melodic sounding song.
Yeah, a little bit more. Like this is the kind of riff I think of when I think of Hot Snakes.
Really?
Even though, honestly, it's not even the majority of their discography. They have a lot of dark, bitter stuff, but this is just what I think of.
Interesting, yeah. I definitely think more like that last album.
Yeah. God damn, that's so great. Okay. So, all right, now we can talk. Let's talk.
I'm going to give this one worst, least favorite.
So here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing, Alex.
What was it? Yeah.
This album is the one that I heard. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, this is my band. Going back to it.
Yeah.
It was honestly between this one and another one for worst.
Okay.
Even though I think it's so goddamn good. I think it's a
good album. There's this songs I don't like as much as other songs.
Which ones?
In the discography. There's just songs where I'm like, they're okay, like XOX and Who Died, where I'm just like, or LAX, where I'm just like, I don't have any problems with these songs. They don't infuriate me, but I don't notice the cool little like frills and layers they're doing on other albums.
So here's the thing. I think this is their worst paced album. Mm-hmm. So, and I like XOX. I think it's a good song. I think it's a great That's a pretty good. I think it's a great track 3, honestly.
Mhm.
Who Died is a straight up nosedive in terms of pacing for me. I don't. It's like one of the few songs I don't really care for in the entire discography. I wouldn't say it has a terrible main riff, or I wouldn't say it's a terrible song, but it just doesn't feel good as a track 4. It just kind of slows everything down. But before that, we got to talk about. So the opener, I Hate the Kids rules. It's a different kind of opener. They don't really have an opener like that in the rest of the discography. And then following that up with Gar Forgets His Insulin. Oh, tell me you got it. I mean, who doesn't love that song?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
It's insane.
Picks up the tempo after I Hate the Kids. You got the like snare roll. There's a touch of psychobilly to it. One thing I noticed this band does too is it's not like guitar solos, but here's some like guitar effects or this unique guitar part that isn't like a traditional solo. And then like one of the most like you're talking about when the bass comes in, this song, this is the bass coming in song.
Absolutely. God damn it, rules. You don't care much for the title tracks on these albums. I love the title track on here. It comes in sounding like the fucking Wipers. Check out the episode on the Wipers from a million years ago.
I do like this. I guess maybe I just don't like 3 title tracks because I like how it feels epic without having an epic time length. And there's this something about the guitar playing on the title track that gets me in the feels where it's like usually people connect to lyrics and vocals, which is understandable. It's how we communicate. But yeah, it's one of those guitar the guitar riff makes me feel something.
It's very emotional. It's really great minor key riff, and they do minor key stuff a lot of darker stuff. Even though I think of like the pentatonic hard rock style punky stuff, their minor key stuff is fucking gorgeous, and that's just, I think it's a perfect example of one of them. It's like you were saying, it's epic without kind of being this bombastic, long, giant song. It's one of the most melodic, but it's also super intense, and succinct. I think it's fucking wonderful.
Oh, I was gonna say, Paid in Cigarettes is a good follow up because we're dealing with our feelings in the title track, and then Paid in Cigarettes kind of has this sleazy, dancey vibe. I mean, it's called Paid in Cigarettes. It's
Paid in Cigarettes. Dude, Paid in Cigarettes is an absolute all-time favorite. There's something so memorable about that main riff. And then the big giant bridge section thing that first time it comes in is at 2 minutes. I think it's fucking godly. I think it's an unbelievably great riff. I love the song so damn much. God damn. And you're not big on LAX. I'm fine with it. I think it has a really great minor key main riff. I don't much care for the choruses too much, so I get that. But there's good choices like on the second verse, the guitar lines change. The bass line, it's the same verse, same type of vocals, same bass line, same drums, but the guitar lines change and it opens up a whole new layer. It's just a nice little touch. It's a good touch. Beautiful verses on that song.
Paperwork. I like the mean guitar riffs on there, some galloping drums, but don't feel as strongly about it as I do like the title track or Gar.
Wait, how do you feel about Bye Nancy Boy?
Hold on.
Because that one, I think it's absolutely rules. Absolutely rules.
Oh yeah, I did glance over that one. I think I just kind of lost that one in between the LA.
No, I'm putting it on.
Okay,
you have to hear it. It's so good.
That does have like a replacements.
Oh,
like
you're right. I didn't catch that. Such a cool main riff, though. Also, check out episode of The Replacements from a long time ago.
I think even like the song title. Yeah, I think I was just like too caught up in LAX and then enamored with Paperwork. So that's my bad.
Okay.
To like write meaningful notes about Binance, but I could see why you like it. Kind of a tip of the hat to Minnesotan punk, post-punk, whatever you want to call it.
I'm surprised that you're big on Paperwork. It's a good song. I think it's a good song, but that one did hurt the pacing for me.
Yeah, and like talking about it with you, I think you made some good points there. Where it's like I think it is more of a pacing issue, and then a few duds where the other albums are just so consistent.
Definitely. I think Paperwork is kind of my prime example too, where like that opening, there's something about that intro that I just don't like the way it feels following by Nancy Boy, even though I do like the song.
Yeah. And then, Why Does It Hurt? It's just quick little like blink and you miss it song.
Yep. Beautiful though. Another more emotional, darker song. Yeah.
This isn't a concept album or anything like that. But I think when you have like suicide in the title, and a lot of these titles seem to be invoking that, it does seem like there is like a loose concept album going on. I think Unlisted's a good example of like, man, the guitar playing is just so unique to Rick and Jean. Like, I would like bastardize trying to describe it, and it's not like this crazy prog rock or metal stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just like, man, that is like really unique for a band that sounds like they're playing in 4/4 all the time.
Yeah, definitely. There's something. Yeah, that main riff. It really reminds me of this old punk band called Chaos Z from Germany, and I mean, it doesn't like sound like. If someone listening to this goes and listens to KLZ, they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not, because they're a very rough kind of like raw band, like playing out of the garage with no money in West Germany or whatever. But the type of riff, just the way it's written, it's the way it feels. There's something very German punk sounding about that song to me. It's very cool. It's another anthemic sounding one. I dig it a lot. And the closer, Ben Gurion, I think it's my least favorite closer of theirs.
I get what they were. One. I kind of get what they were doing there, where it's arguably like the most fun song on the album. Yeah. So it's kind of like ending on a high note. I get it, but yeah, it's not too strong.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I'm still fine with it. Like I still dig the chorus a lot. It just doesn't feel very closery. Some of the others, I think, just they've done it better with other albums. But I mean, I still love this album a lot. It's the one that got me into them. Like,
yeah,
the bangers here are so insanely good. It's just, god damn. Yeah, Alex's worst and least favorite, but it's just because the band is good and we play this dumb game where we pick one anyway.
Yes.
But moving on, if you are ready.
I am ready.
Hell yeah. So this came out in 2004. This is Audit in Progress.
God damn.
Oh, you goddamn indeed.
We're back.
Oh. Their best opener. I'm gonna say it. Their best opener.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Like, if Psychobilly sounded like this all the time,
yeah. If Psychobilly didn't suck, it'd be great.
And it's like, it sounds kind of weird to compare it to, but it's like it's in there. It's in this song
a little bit. Wait for that bass, baby. Wait for that bass. You think the bass was already there? No, it wasn't. God damn, it fucking rules.
Damn, I bet they were fun to see live.
Oh, I know. God damn, that's fucking so good.
Best personal favorite.
Personal favorite. Yeah, I mean, this is a one hell of an album, goddamn.
Yeah, this album rules. Not the pacing isn't as well as their debut album, but goddamn, I just like so many of the songs on here.
The highlights are so damn high, it's retarded.
Yes, including highlights.
Including highlights.
Yes.
Dude, one of the best follow-up tracks. What are these riffs? What are these fucking riffs?
I agree. Like, Brain Trust is already crazy fast, and highlights somehow keeps up the pace. This album has some like much needed energy that I think was missing on the last album. I like when they work in the like melodic stuff, but also it's like you can listen to Drive Like Jehu for that. And those songs are still good, but like this stuff is like I want to crank it up full volume all the time.
This band, it really benefits from being cranked. I've learned, like listening to this in the car where like you hear the road, like if you're on the freeway and you hear the road and you hear the AC or something, where you can bump it, but it's still there's like stuff in the way. It actually isn't quite as good as if you're in, with your home speakers and you're fucking blasting it. It actually makes a difference. Like the songs feel even better the louder they are, especially when that bass comes in. But
also, I this album might cause me to get a speeding ticket if I'm listening to it in the car.
Oh yeah. So the pacing I don't love as much because I don't really like Retrofade as a track 3. I like the song, but as a track 3, it just feels. I mean, it's like Hot Snakes being proggy in a way.
I like it. It's that perfect blend of what I talked about describing them. Like, in a way, it's kind of the most Hot Snakes song to me because. Like, what does garage rock and hardcore punk sound like? It sounds like Retrofit to me.
Yeah, you're
like
not wrong.
If you combine the two, it's Retrofit for me. And then the great interplay between Froberg and Reis is just a fucking cool song.
It is. I mean, it is a very cool song. It's why I still like the song a lot. For some reason, as track 3, it just didn't gel with me. But it is like one of the more complex songs. Like from at least a structural standpoint, like the riffs alone are very odd. Way more rhythmic than they are like any kind. There's very little melody in the song. Let's say that. On the contrary, though, we get Creative Control, another all-time favorite.
Yes, and I think I just like it because I have the nostalgia for. I don't know where, but like I remember. Like the lyrics is kind of like washed over me. I was like, I know these lyrics. I don't know where, but
they're fun lyrics. They're fun lyrics,
especially for anyone who's works in creative. Who can't. Yeah.
I get it, buddy. I get it. But it's awesome. It's minor key, but aggressive as shit. And then the guitar harmonies are wonderful, especially in the second verse. And then there's another section around 155 that's just, oh man, it's a beautiful culmination of what they set up right when it starts.
Thinking about Carbs is like the first miss for me.
Are you kidding me? It's one of my favorite songs of theirs. Man. I love it so much. Damn it.
Maybe I'll come back around to it. But
I love it. I love it. For some reason, that's the song. That's like whenever I think of Hot Snakes, that song pops into my head.
Oh yeah. Shit. Yeah. Apparently there are lots of things to different people. But
yeah, for sure.
And then I don't love the title track. I especially just like banger after banger after banger. And then the title track this is kind of underwhelming.
Oh, I like it. I don't love the verses so much, but I think it has an absolutely beautiful chorus. It does slow things down a bit.
Yeah. This mystic decade, not really that mystic, but a solid no filler rock and roller song, which they do very well. Yeah,
it's similar vibe to Paid in Cigarettes. It's not. I don't think it's quite as memorable, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Hatchet Job. I mean, I I love it. I love it all. I mean, I don't love it all, but I love it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, How's Your Job rules. Really, really melodic. Some wonderful little harmonies there. Great progressions. And then I always forget there's like this band does organs every now and then.
Yes, and I like the organs a lot on here on Lovebirds.
Who's doing organs on here? I believe that's Gar Wood. Hell of a name, that Gar Wood.
Is he the guy who forgot his insulin?
I think it is. I think it's the guy who forgot his insulin.
Yeah, it might be him.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to say we get Mario entering drums on this album.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So we didn't even go into the drummers and bassists because I'm bad. Gar is the bassist. Garwood is the bassist. At least for this album. For the first album, John Reis was on bass, and guitar and bass. They didn't land on a permanent basis, and they had Jason Karkunis on drums. From Suicide Invoice, they got Garwood on drums. I'm sorry, they got Garwood on bass, and then here they replaced him with Mario. Rubalcaba. Man, that's a hard name to say. I've had so many teachers in school growing up with that last name, and I could never fucking say it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He's always been one of my favorite drummers.
I know he's from the Crypt as well. What else?
I like his work in Earthless, which is this a jammy psychedelic band. That's where I heard him. Blackheart Percussion has some cool stuff, and then he's in Off, who I guess
that's right.
I guess Off is calling it quits. So
Off is off, really?
Yep. So
that's
people
Keith Morris's band, right?
Yeah, and they're in 2022. Their album kind of snuck past me because I was like, I know what Off is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't. And then I listened to it later on. I was like, damn, this is good shit.
Damn.
This is good shit.
Well, they've been around a good while. Well,
yeah.
What are you going to do?
But I digress.
Indeed. So who produced? Ben Moore produced this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he recorded and mixed this. And then Tom put like it's almost like a family tree from Discogs, because on his profile, Ben Moore has this photo, whatever, and it says he's the son of Matthew Moore. So then we look up Matthew Moore, and it says dude looks like a fucking serial killer, and it says he's a pianist, a vocalist, songwriter, brother of Daniel Moore. Well, who the fuck is Daniel Moore? Go to Daniel Moore, and he looks like fucking David Crosby, but way cooler and more hair. And we have no idea who these guys are and what they worked on. They're just like random dudes who just produce stuff, or who have produced stuff for a while. I went on this whole digression because I was trying to bring up organs because of the intro to Lovebirds. I got fucking completely derailed.
Yeah, you did. That was a big side quest.
Huge side quest. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Lovebirds rules.
Yeah, great. Hold on, now I'm discombobulated. Yeah, I like it's slow, it's groovy. Nice little variety in this album that doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah, it's a different kind of song completely.
Mm-hmm. Then Reflex is appropriately titled because that this fucking cranks up the speed again.
Oh yeah, all that scrapey chugging.
Oh man, fucking! I wish I could play guitar.
Oh yeah,
specifically like that. No, I'd probably pick something else.
I could do the riff right here.
You could, yeah.
It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something. I know it's a video game and it doesn't count, but there's something about patterns like that on Guitar Hero that this fucks me up for some reason. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's very rhythmic too. It's like I don't know. It's very intense. There's not a lot of space in the mix. It's a whirlwind of a song, but it's got some beautiful riffs in there, even though it's fucking crazy and chaotic.
Yeah.
Another super cool emotional main riff to Hair and DNA.
Yeah, I like the main riffs, but then some of the main chorus stuff is just okay to me.
Okay.
It's kind of a mix. it's kind of a mixed bag.
I still dig it. I mean, it doesn't do anything different from, style wise, but it's just another good song. It's just good song after fucking good song.
Yeah.
And then the closer.
Plenty. Yeah, Plenty for All. It's crazy. It's just a minute, but it's just this like breath of fresh air.
Is it that short?
Bright.
Yeah, holy shit! I can't believe it's that short. I did not realize that it was
didn't even register.
No, because it's for one, it's like their happiest riff ever. It's a super happy arpeggio. That's like the main riff, and it feels completely different. And it's a beautiful closer.
Hold on, I think the Wikipedia entry is wrong.
Is it?
Because No. It's about 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, the Wikipedia entry is wrong. Yeah, it says it's 1 minute 17, and that's just wrong.
Never mind what I said. That was wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah. This nice bright guitar riffs. I'm here for the sleazy party riffs, but every once in a while, like Plenty for All, I'm here for it.
Yeah, it feels like a closer because they don't do that. Because that's kind of like what this band. How it works with this band, because they don't really change much in their entire discography. They're always they're always hot snakes. They're always like the same. So it's interesting. In order for it to feel like a good closer, it's just all you gotta do is just something a little different. It doesn't have to be this big giant epic thing. It doesn't have to be this dramatic thing. Just in this case, a 3-minute happy song, and it feels great. Yeah, I mean, this is my favorite for years and years. This was always my favorite, and it's still my favorite. I mean, the songs, the things that hit here are so fucking good.
Some of the best. I think I was on autopilot mode and I accidentally put on their live album.
Oh yeah,
which has a lot of these songs, and like I was just like, God damn, these rule. And then I realized I was listening to a live album.
Must have been pretty good production.
It is actually really good. The like Thunder Down Under album is really good. I didn't even realize it was until I think XOX came on, and I was like, wait a second.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I might give that a whirl. That's fun as hell. But Alex's best personal favorite and my personal favorite, which means we got one left, and you know how I feel a little bit, sort of, kind of. But might as well get into it. I should probably pull it up on my fucking phone. Yeah, let's do it. This is the reunion. So before we jump into it, after this album, after Audit in Progress, they disbanded and then they reunited in 2011 for some shows. And then a few years later, after that, Froberg and Reis reunited Drive Like Jehu. And I do you remember that reunion? I think I remember it briefly.
I do, because my friend Chris loves Reis and Froberg and these San Diego bands, so he's like fucking about it. Drove down there he's probably like, I would say like that these three bands are like he's seen the most.
Yeah.
He has like a rocket from the Crypt tattoo, and it's a funny tattoo because if you put on 3D glasses, it's 3D.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
It's like the blue and red. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I remember it because my friend Chris fucking loves these guys.
God
and
damn.
It was this like overwhelmingly like, I was like, God, how often do these bands play? Because he was just going all the time.
Shit, I can't believe I missed every show. I mean, I actually do remember when they reunited, but I don't think I was that. Either I didn't listen. No, I definitely listened to it, but I just wasn't like super. I just didn't care about shows for some reason. That's the same time I missed the first Jesus Lizard reunion. They're currently reuniting now, but I missed the first one because it just absolutely, I'm like, maybe I'll get to it. And it just didn't matter to me until like a few years later, I just realized like I missed everything because I was so indifferent for no fucking reason.
Yeah. I think is this the same? And it's just, it's hard to stay on top of music, and maybe at the time I was getting into other things and it just didn't feel as important. And now I do this podcast and I have to pay attention. So
a lot more paying attention. The quote from Reis about the Jehu reunion. He says, touring with Drive Like Jehu was fun, but at times it felt like the musical equivalent of moving back with your parents and putting on shoes that were a little too tight, clothes that don't fit too well. That band could have made new music for sure, and it would have been interesting to see what it would sound like present tense because the shows were starting to sound better and better. Unfortunately, it came to an end and it left a void. Now what? And that's when they reunited. Hot snakes. He goes on to say, he says, when we first started playing together again, it never felt like a reunion, just a bit of a break. We had separate bands, but Hot Snakes never felt like it needed kindling to fire it back up. It was obvious that it was what we had to do. I love Rick's voice, his artistic choices, his guitar playing, and whatever unique kind of kernel that I bring to a group is always made better by collaborating with him. His input, we're best friends, and by this point, we're more like family, which is the saddest thing ever. When you see his statement after he died, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Fuck. I'm going to cry.
Dude, it's devastating. I'll pull it up, but goddamn.
Yeah.
Anyway, might as well get into it now. This is the reunion. This is 2018's Jericho Sirens.
Still got it.
Still got it. Great riff.
But yeah, like, his voice is different. It's not like a huge difference.
It's a little scratchier, but it is so obviously Rick.
Hasn't gone full-blown old man Iggy Pop
No.
vocals.
Oh, that bass sounds so good right there. So I would say tonally, that sounds like the exact same band and there wasn't a break at all. Like guitar tonally, especially.
Yes, I would agree with that. Especially with the peppering of like some quick surf rock riffs in there.
Yeah, so worst and least favorite, but barely, because I think every song is good. I like the album a lot.
Mhm.
I couldn't. So my recollection of this album was seeing like, holy shit, the Hot Snakes made a new album, because I missed the reunion completely somehow. And I thought, oh, cool, I'll throw that on. And I remember throwing it on and thinking, wow, this is not great at all. Like, I'm not into this. This is what a letdown, because those other albums are so good. Putting this on again, I recognize none of it. I have no idea how I could possibly have had that thought unless I just heard a different album and I just conflated it. There's no way I heard this and thought that, because this album fucking rules. I do think it's the worst because even though the pacing is actually pretty good and I like every song, there were no, I can't even say that. There are still highlights, like good fucking songs. The big giant highlights that I love on here, I don't love quite as much as the previous 3 albums. And that's basically it. That's the only thing I could say that would make it worst.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think I just found the overall journey a little more interesting than Suicide Invoice. But I think, like you, it is like just slightly thing.
Yeah. One thing I will know about it as a whole, I think it's their wildest and most dissonant album, easily.
Oh, dude, why? Let me make sure, because that looks like a typo. It might not be a typo. Oh, Why Don't It Sink In is hands down their most chaotic, noisy song ever.
Fucking nuts. Absolutely. I mean, it comes in sounding just like Gar Forgets His Insulin. It comes in sounding that. But then it goes into the ugliest thing they've ever done. It's the most unhinged riffage, that's for sure. At that point, because we already get I Need a Doctor, which is pretty bitter. And then you get Kind of Cameras, which is another super evil sounding riff, super very gritty sounding riff.
I like it's very like stabby compared to I Need a Doctor. Yeah.
So when Wind Out and Sink In comes on, I'm thinking, how is this their craziest album? And it is.
Especially in old age. Like it's this punk rock fury at its best.
These guys just couldn't suck. It's amazing. Like, because So 6-wave hold down slows things down. It cleans things up a little bit. It's more of a straightforward rock riff, but it's still fucking great. It's like a really clangy indie song. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it eases the mood a little bit, but has these more like snarly vocals on it, despite being more chill.
Yeah.
And then the title track, I do like the like Western vibes that it kind of opens up with, dabbles with. There's some good riffs there, but I don't care for the main chorus.
Oh, you know what? I'll give you that. I don't love the main chorus either. It's a very hard rock kind of anthemic, big hard rock chorus, but it's fine. But I also get it. It's also just it's very southerny. I don't know how else to put that.
Yeah, I know it's what they do. It's why we're here. But I kind of think if they just went all in on the Western motifs on that song, it would have been more interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, because that's a melodica, right? On that song? Because they do have it like sparsely in random songs.
Yes. So since we're talking about melodicas, let's fast forward to Death of a Sportsman, which is a funny title instead of Sail.
Yep.
That's for pretentious people. Has some lighter riffs among the usual riffage, but then the bridge comes in with the melodica.
Yeah.
And we get the little homage to the Wipers Youth of America, which sounds very cool.
Dude, it's the closer, right? I think it's one of the best closers. I absolutely love it. It just feels so good. One of my favorite songs on the album, 100%. But on Death Camp Fantasy, really chunky and beefy production on that one. I do like the vocal choices on that one a lot too. And then another super cool section in the final minute. Yeah, I mean, this is a fucking dark album. Like, it's one of their most morbid too. Because you got like Death Doula, which is genuinely bitter and like 1,000 times more morbid than they were on any of the other albums.
That one's a little long in tooth for me.
It drags on a little bit more than I like, for sure.
Yeah, but I like following it up with Psychoactive. It's more fun, more rockin'.
Yeah,
gets me back up.
Around 1:30. Awesome riff, and the production on that section makes it feel even better. And then having another, I find that one to be rhythmically a lot more interesting compared to most songs of theirs. I mean, I don't find it to be a very melodically interesting one, but very rhythmically interesting.
I love the raw energy of that song. It's one of their rippers. And then, again, just that unique Reis Froberg guitar playing that I love on there. Yeah.
I mean, fuck, man, this is probably their least accessible album, but really interesting, really engaging. And yeah, it's not many of these songs are like, they're not like instant classics, but reunion albums rarely get better than this, in our experience. We can count on like one hand, like the great reunion albums. But it's fucking great. It's not repeating anything that they were doing, even though they could have, because they were never like jumping crazy amounts from album to album. They could have just did the same thing, but it's them, but it's completely different writing. These are different songs. You could tell these are guys who have aged. These are different people than the ones that we had 14 years prior to this.
Yeah, a lot of people say they, doing the reunion albums for the fans, and then just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Kind of this feels like it's for themselves, or they need an excuse to tour. Yep. But this is genuinely one that feels like it's for the fans. I don't know. It probably won a few people over, but also it's just like no one's going to be disappointed if you're familiar with their previous work. There's better places to start, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, this is not like, that happens a lot where a band will reunite, at least for me. The band will reunite and they'll put out something new, and I'm already like, oh man, what is it going to be like? And it just fills me with dread every time. This is like, this fits in perfectly. I don't feel weird because there's always this weird little itch when I see a giant gap, or like, oh, there's the obvious reunion album. That's the one that we kind of pretend isn't part of it. This should be part of the original 3. The cover, the cover art is the only thing that gives me umbrage, because I like the cover. It's funny. It makes me laugh. It's a guy surfing. I don't know who it is surfing, but the other covers had this kind of theme to it. This really cool art style, especially Suicide Invoice, which I think is my favorite album cover. And this one just sort of has a completely different thing going on.
Yeah, I guess they're more cartoony, but then it does have the same vibe as their live album.
Oh, I'll take a look at
similar artwork.
Yeah,
there,
you're right.
But
yeah,
I get what you're saying though.
So this album was put out. I think it was put out by Sub Pop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this was the other ones were put out by Swami and then reissued by Sub Pop. This one was put out by Sub Pop, and I think Reis said, I enjoy putting out our records and records by our friends. I always approached it like art, a way to document something cool, a way to further immerse myself in music. There needs to be a business to it too, which I'm completely not interested in. It's not really fun finding ways to make people interested in what you're doing. That's why I let Sub Pop reissue our catalog. I get it, brother. I get it. Artists for having to be forced into being businessmen is also, it's like, oh man, you get people, you get the ones who do it, who are both, and those are amazing. But goddamn, that's pretty rare. You need someone to do the business stuff.
Yeah, very. There are some people who are good at both, but it's kind of like a left brain, right brain situation.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing in our current age. But musically, I'd say it fits right in, and it's solid entry. It's my least favorite, but goddamn, I do like it a lot.
Yeah, no real misses here. Just good time, start to finish. Quick 4 albums. Not miserable once listening to these.
Not miserable once. I mean, so easy. Just short, sweet, consistent, fun as hell. Great to blast. So yeah, it's band fucking rules. And then Rick died, and everything was sad. Died.
Oh, man.
Just ran. I mean, Reis wrote natural causes, but what the fuck is natural about dying at 55? I mean, and on Wiki, which I couldn't find any sources, or at least, to be fair, it might have been on New York Times, but I can't read it because I'm not subscribed to New York Times. It won't let me read the article, but it said on Wiki an undiagnosed heart condition, which it's just a vague thing. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? I don't know. It just seemed really vague. And I couldn't find more on it, but it's still like super fucked up. The quote from Reis, I think it was from a Instagram post. Says, Rick passed away suddenly last night from natural causes. His art made life better. The only thing he loved more than art and rock and roll was his friends. He will forever be remembered for his creativity, vision, and his ability to bring beauty into this world. I love you, Rick. I will miss you for the rest of my life. Now we're going to start crying.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
It's always hard when there's like a duo. Like I'm seen the biography of Jim Henson, and like the way, sorry, this is a random connection, but like Froberg and Reis are kind of like the Jim Henson and Frank Oz of
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like the way Frank Oz talks about like Henson, and same thing here. This feels like they lost a part of themselves. And like it doesn't happen all the time, but it's just this fucking like unbreakable duo that was broken.
Yeah.
And it's not like Siskel and Ebert where they like fucking hated each other, but like, oh man, they're just like legitimately brothers from different mothers. Like,
Yep, totally. God damn.
It's like part of him.
Yeah.
Part of him probably died.
100%. Yeah. How could it not? How could it not? Fuck, that sucks. That sucks. In 2020, but this is before, obviously, before Rick's death. 2020 restarted Plosives, and he said he was playing with Rob Crow and Jordan Clark. of Mrs. Magician. Rob Crow, by the way, Tom noted here, he's in like a ton of bands, and one of the bands is called Anal Trump, and he's I mean, this band, for one, obviously they're grindcore. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you go on their Bandcamp, I'm not gonna like harp on this too much, but they are really running with like the mocking Trump thing, combining it with anal cunt. Like, it's a fun little mashup, but that's a fun, I mean, the fun album covers at the very least, but
yeah, I'm gonna check that out after.
I can't imagine I like their music very much, but that's just what those bands, that's kind of what they are.
I mean, if it sounds like anal cunt, probably not.
Yeah, but it has some.
It's just this is fun to read the titles.
Yeah. But yeah, he started Plosives, and he's done so much shit. He started like a million projects, and this is all right before Rick died. I mean, they're busy guys. They've been playing forever, and they had a million bands. Played solo, I believe, as well. There's a lot. If you're interested in John Reis and Rick Froberg, there's so much to chew on. There's a lot to go back to.
Yeah, and I bet my friend Chris has seen all their fucking bands. I know he loves Miss Magician. I've heard him fucking talk about them. So your buddy, I've met him a couple times. The first time I met him, it was because of Hot Snakes that I got along with him. I saw Hot Snakes poster on his wall. I was like, oh shit. And then I don't know how I forgot that. It's like literally the first time I met him. But yeah, this band fucking rules. It's devastating that Rick died, especially so young, but fucking they rule. Go back to their albums. Listen to all their albums. Let's do a little recap. All right. Those aren't my notes. These are my notes. Worst, least favorite, Suicide Invoice. Not even a bad album, just inconsistent pacing for me. Some of my least favorite songs, but the highs are real high. And then best personal favorite, Audit in Progress. The highs are real high. Nice, crank it to 11 rock and roll music.
Hell yes. For me, Automatic Midnight, best, the best pacing, some of their best songs, raw and gritty, it's a perfect little encapsulation of the band. Audit in Progress, personal favorite because the good songs are unbelievably good. Oh, god damn it. And worst least favorite, Jericho Sirens. It's an incredible reunion album. It's a great album, but it just doesn't have the highs that some of the other ones have for me personally. But that about does it. Thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. If you want to hang out longer, subscribe, leave some comments, tell us why we're out of our minds and stupid people. Or you can be cool and not do that. You can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
And please follow our history guy Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music and his podcast where he interviews a bunch of cool musicians. Whatever comes next, which you can find on all places, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, blah, blah, blah. He gets interviews for us. He does research for us. He gets review copies for albums for us. He does a lot of work for us, and his podcast rules, and he gets a lot of insight from people doing it, check out my EP. There's a link to that in the description. It's cool. It doesn't sound like this, but whatever. It's cool. What else? Oh yeah. Last but not least, Patreon, babe. If you want to actually support us and be a part of our little group here, patreon.com/everyalbumever. That's where you go. You get to see our schedule in advance. You get to vote on polls, decide who we're covering next. You get 2 extra bonus episodes per month. You get to join our Discord, be a part of our community, our very active and awesome community with really good music discussions. It was very comforting actually going to that Discord after learning about Steve Albini's death, because it was like everybody pouring their heart out. It's like, this is my people. It felt very nice to see that.
If I was not living my best life,
he was in Hawaii. He was busy.
Cut me. So I rarely travel for myself.
That's
I travel
true.
for family, and even this wasn't really traveling for myself.
Yeah,
but I made it about myself.
Yes, but on the Discord, you can also suggest any episode that from an album that came out this year you want us to talk about it. Throw it on the Discord. We usually pick them out from there. And then if you're tier 2, if you're Patreon tier 2, then you can suggest a full episode a full discography for us to cover, just the way Anton did here with Hot Snakes. Yeah, just it's good stuff. There's plenty of there to go there, do that. It's very cool. I think that about does it, except for last song. What are we doing?
I mean, you're the bigger fan. I trust in you to set us on the right, or send us off on the right song here.
You don't have to agree, and you can veto this, but my heart is saying Paid in Cigarettes.
Go for it. Yeah, I got nothing wrong.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.